Well, hello everybody. And isn't this a kind of a nice spot, huh? So it's vacation time, and I wanted to just check in. We're staying at a what do they call it? Airbnb for one night, and this is it. Isn't that something? You'd think this was like a park or national forest or something, but I don't know if you can see right where that land sort of ends. There's Mount Baker, kind of right where my finger is. I don't know if you can see it on this or not, but Mount Baker, Mount Rainier, of course, is the big famous mountain out here in Washington State. But Mount Baker is north, and that's it. So we're north. I'm on the Olympic Peninsula, so across from Puget Sound, from Seattle, and then north. And yeah, so tomorrow will be intense, but today we're living large. It's kind of nice. So yeah, they got a campfire. Some B&Bs or Airbnbs have my friend Jim told me they'll have a bottle of wine out, so he was a little disappointed they didn't have that. But what they had was a s'more basket with with popcorn, microwave popcorn in it. So that was actually more up my alley for tonight. So guess how long we biked today. I don't want to make this just a travel log. It's midweek chat. I'll give some Parish news in a second and some thoughts on a few things. But we were on the bike for 6 hours today. So it's like I've been watching the Tour de France. I watched that Netflix series, and then I watched the actual this year's tour, one stage of it. So I was pretending I was, Wout van Aert, the Belgian, on the what is it? I'm trying to think of the team he's on. Jumbo Visma. Anyway, and then by chance, Jim is wearing a yellow jersey. So, Tour de France, the yellow jersey is the leader. So, and his bike goes faster than mine, which I'm glad for because he's carrying he's got the trailer with all our camping gear and stuff. But I couldn't keep up, So he was truly wearing the yellow jersey today of the Tour de France. But I needed 6 hours of exercise today because yesterday I had a personal record for the most cheese eaten in one day. Can you believe how much cheese I ate? I can't even tell you. So I bought cheese curds for my friends out here. So I stopped in Ellsworth on the way home, on the way to the airport. And I got a pack for Steve, a pack for Jim, and a pack for me. And then, So anyway, I ate a lot of those yesterday, and I even had a few for lunch. And then we were a little bit hungry at night. I don't know how. And for some reason, I wanted pizza, wood-fired pizza. So we found a pizza place. And I thought it was at wood-fired. It doesn't have a lot of cheese on it, but man, I was wrong. It was like a big double cheese pizza. So I had a lot of cheese. Anyway, so it was good to be pedaling for 6 hours today. E-bikes, by the way, I should fess up to that. But still, 6 hours on a saddle is a lot of work. So, even with power assist. So, what do we got going here? School news. I just got a text from Father Krasinski, our dean in Eau Claire, and he was just giving me some updates about interviews for the St. James principal position. So we'll be doing that in the coming weeks. Good news, which I didn't know about, but apparently early June, maybe even. Anyway, we did get a really good hire, I'm told, from Linda Schultz and others for our first grade teacher position at St. James Elementary, part of Regis Catholic Schools. Her name is Tracy Nelson. She's got 19 years teaching experience in the public system with 4K. So she's going to just bump up. I haven't met her yet, so I can't wait. Apparently she's always wanted to get into the little grades, elementary, have her own classroom. And she's always wanted it, but she wants it now. And she can have it at St. James, so that's good. So I'll be looking forward to meeting Tracy. And Mackenzie, our outgoing first grade teacher, when I come home after this weekend, Mackenzie will be getting married at St. James to her beloved Joseph. So that'll be great. And then they're moving to Iowa because Joe got a new job there. He's like a engineer type guy. So he was part of the, probably shouldn't get into everything about their lives, but anyway, they're moving down to Iowa. He's got a job opportunity there. So, wow, so those are big things. Before I forget, so last week I didn't plan on listing all these names. Kelly had given me a name of some of our youth and adults who are just super good, like group leaders for our vacation Bible school, Sunshine Days. So I think I was in the giving names. So then Christine said, why don't you put out a plea for adult servers? Usually there's like an adult server and then 2 youth servers for Mass on the weekend. Anyway, so I started naming names. I said, we have some really good ones. And I started naming names. I didn't know. I even said, I think I forgot somebody, but I just can't think. And then I got home. Sometimes I like to watch these chats at night, not to watch myself talk, but to make sure I didn't say anything really foolish. And anyway, as soon as I saw the names, I said, I didn't name Carissa. Oh, no, I hope she's not offended, And she received, I did a little email in advance before she had a chance to watch it, apologizing, because, even the best of us, we can feel a little bit slighted if we put in a lot of time and energy to something and they list everybody else who does it and forgets about you. So anyway, she's one of our best adult servers, and so thanks all of them. Hope we could still use some more adult servers, so I'll say that again. And the other thing in the chat, I couldn't remember Thomas Merton's Trappist Monastery in Kentucky. Isn't it Gethsemane? It's called Gethsemane Abbey, so I want to get that out to you. I got my peach shirt on today. My friend Jim that I'm with today, he got this for me a few years ago. The staff at the Metropolitan Market, a kind of upscale grocery store in Seattle, they're celebrating Peachorama. I think I'm just going to miss Peachorama this year. Maybe not. Maybe I'll be there. I think last year I got there just for the very beginning. So Peachorama is when all the ripe big peaches from Yakima Valley come over the mountains to Seattle. And everybody just peach juice slathering down everybody's faces. So anyway, so that's good. So I did a little parish news there with school. I was gonna show you my sacrament for today. I forgot to bring it, but so with the cheese curds, I got on the plane. I was a window seat, and then a woman and her daughter, I think, sat next to me, and they were quiet. Wasn't sure if they spoke English. And anyway, I always like to be, when someone sits you smile, you say hi. You want to be cooperative in case they have to crawl over you or if you have to crawl over them. And so, there's a sense of friendly. And then I thought, I wonder if they'd like some of these cheese curds, because I don't want to eat all the cheese curds. It'd be nice if someone else ate them. But I didn't have the courage. I thought, well, they wouldn't. It's funny, sometimes you need courage to be kind. I don't know, at least I do. Reaching over a barrier, maybe a language barrier. But I thought, well, if I open up these cheese curds, they'll be kind of warm. What is that? That's a helicopter. And maybe it'll be like, she'll think it's unsanitary, so she won't want them, or maybe explaining what they are will be confusing. Anyway, I just sort of talked myself out of offering her these cheese curds. Gotta be more courageous. I don't know. Sorry, anyway, it's too meek. They say the meek will inherit the earth, but sometimes it's no fun to be meek. You have a lot less adventures in life. But, or maybe that's not meek, that's just being shy, I don't know. But, and then about, right when we started our descent, she opened up a pack of gum, juicy fruit. I used to love juicy fruit when I was a boy. And she gave some to her daughter, she took some herself. And I'm just kind of looking at it. And out of nowhere, she opens up this carton of juicy fruits. Doesn't say anything, just kind of opens up, puts them in my face and said, kind of, do you want one? So I took it, I enjoyed the heck out of it. It was really tasty. Though it didn't taste like it, I think they changed the flavor from when I was a boy. Of course, maybe my taste buds changed, but I think it's different. But I enjoyed the heck out of it. And I saved the wrapper. I thought I'd just put it in my shaving kit with my toothpaste and stuff. So just a reminder of kindness and reaching out, and it's a little bit of a sacrament. So Maybe I'll show you my juicy fruit wrapper next week. Okay, but we need those little reminders that it's good to connect with one another. I saw a great movie on the airplane. I thought it was great. It was called Jerry and Marge Go Large. I just put it out there if you can see it. It's about these two guys. The guy's sort of a genius, but he never really got credit for being a genius with numbers, and he found a flaw in one of the state lottery games. And the more you bet, the more you win, kind of thing. And anyway, I don't say any more about it, but I thought it was really a very good movie. Really good actors, Annette Bening and Bryan Cranston. Anyway, Jerry and Marge Go Large. Summerfest, it's all about Summerfest. August, I think 12th and 13th will be Summerfest. Our bulletin board in the gathering space is there with all the sign-up sheets, or at least it will be before and after all the masses this weekend. I'll be gone this weekend because I'm out here enjoying all this. Father Shevs is coming in, Father George Shevs, or as he's known to all his parishioners, George. And he's retired now, and so we're lucky to have him come back. He was the pastor at St. Pat's for 6 years, late 70s, early 80s, and then at Newman, Eau Claire for I think like 27 years or something like that. Then his last assignment was in Prescott, and that's where he lives now. So I'm really grateful for him coming. I'm sure he'll enjoy being with you, and likewise, you enjoy being with him. School dust. Oh, yeah. So we're just dropping a load of cash. I guess that's why we have a building fund, so we can take care of our buildings. But the school building, you've seen that truck if you've been around. They're just digging every morning. I know I sound like such a whiner. As long as people are working and helping, I'm glad. But man, I wake up thinking I'm at the dentist because you hear and they're grinding all this mortar up between the bricks out, and then they're putting new mortar in. I guess they call it tuck pointing. They're doing things around the windows, kind of re-outfitting the hardware under the windows so that water doesn't get into them anymore. Things like that. Anyway, that's like, I think they maybe have 2 more weeks doing that. But it's been a long project. They started the day school got out, and they've been there so for over a month now for sure. People that know buildings say they're doing a heck of a good job, so it's great. And now the inside, our terrazzo people that did our school, did our church floor, made it spiffy again in the sanctuary area. It was all kind of browning and yellowing. You couldn't see the brilliance of our green and white and black terrazzo. Well, the school, needs the same thing. We didn't have it all done last year. It seemed like a lot, or 2 years ago. Anyway, so that's going to happen, and that's 3 years. 3 weeks of a project. So I know Tracy, our new teacher, she wanted to be all excited about getting in the classroom and setting up. And I'm like, you can't go for 3 weeks because they're doing this project. Well, it's probably rude to eat in front of you. I'm just so hungry. I'm not on the bike for 6. Then we found this great restaurant we could go to. We found it on the web. Grilled fish or something. I don't know. Closed on Tuesdays. Okay. Life is so hard. That might be all of the Parish news. Just need students. I was just saying, well, yeah, our enrollment, we want to always have fuller classrooms in our school. And so we have good new shiny hallways. The building will be great. And we're the only elementary site that enrollment's going down. The other IC and St. Mary's are kind of holding their own or going up. And we're kind of struggling to hang on to at least 10 in every classroom. So it's a good thing. We had great faculty, great spirit. So I pray that our mission to support our Catholic school succeeds. People are drawn to that. Okay. I want to mention, so I was going, this whole about human nature, who are we? Can you see? Mount Baker is so beautiful. I hope you can kind of see it. I don't know if I get out of the way, if that would help. I think it's right. It's right there. When I'm done, I'll give a I'll get out of the way completely. So, you know how in our culture, we want to win, and we value individual strength and victory, and and there's a whole other way of kind of looking at human nature, that we're communal, that we're in this together, and it's very consistent, I think, with a lot of the Bible and our church teaching, very much our Eucharist, right? Many parts of one body. And but man, I know I always struggle to keep that communal perspective. It's like, well, if I got enough, that's good, or if I'm doing well, that's good. And I really feel much better about life when I kind of shed that individual consciousness and try to have more of a communal consciousness. So anyway, I was thinking about that on the bike ride today. A lot of time to think about stuff. But like Jim's battery was going down on his e-bike, and mine was fine. And there was, it probably sounds really immature, but there's part of me, it's like, oh, well, too bad for him, which is, we have spare batteries and stuff. But I mean, there was just that thought, oh, I'm glad I'm doing fine. But like on a trip like this, you are completely together. If his bike fails, then the trip fails. If my bike fails, then the trip fails. It's not like you go on without the other, So anyway, so I was just kind of appreciating that fact, that we really are in this together, and because if he suffers, then I suffer, and if I suffer, then he suffers. That's really the way it should be. That's St. Paul's vision of church, I think, that we're many parts of one body. The hand can't say to the foot, I don't need you. I don't know if he says this or not, or if it's just an implication, but if one part of the body hurts, the whole body hurts. You ever had just like some part of your body that you don't even think about ever, that it gets infected? You get like a ingrown nail or something like that on your foot, or on, I don't know, a bite on your earlobe, I don't know, wherever. And it can be really, but it just makes you miserable. And it'd be nice if we were that way with our fellow human beings, when someone's hurting, that's hurtful to me too, And sometimes we can get at it. It's called compassion. It's called solidarity. There's competing traditions maybe in our faith even, but I think that's really strong with Eucharist, the communal aspect. Sometimes the way we talk about like salvation, it's just personal relationship with Jesus. You hear that. As long as I'm in a state of grace, I can't control where you're at, but I can take care of myself. You can see where we really emphasize in some instances kind of an individual journey to heaven, and at the same time, it's definitely part of our faith that we get saved together. We get saved as a people. We journey together through this life. That's why church and rules in some ways are so important in the Catholic tradition, because they're unifying things. It can be sort of frustrating, but that's the inspiring edge of it, that we do these things together, that we journey together to heaven. That's right. That's my favorite quote. I have a little poster of it on our steps going up to our prayer room at the office, that life is just about walking each other home. Yeah, love that. I was listening to a John Shea tape the other day, and he brought up something from Maury, Tuesdays with Maury, that guy. I don't know if it was in that book, if it was in another thing that he said, but it was a little parable about a wave. A wave is coming in. So tomorrow, or 2 days from now, hopefully, maybe, we'll be at the ocean. So I'm thinking about the ocean a little bit. And all on our bikes. And anyway, there's this wave coming into the ocean on the Washington coast, say, and it sees all the waves ahead of it crashing on the rocks. And it's worried. It's like, oh, I'm gonna crash on the rock. I'm going to crash on the rock. I'm so afraid, And then another wave says, hey, don't be afraid. Well, why wouldn't I be afraid? I'm like, they're all crashing on the rocks. I'm going to crash on the rock. He said, you don't have to be afraid because you're not a wave. You're part of the ocean. I love stories like that. I love stories like that. Kind of make me think or reorient my mind a little bit. It's probably a little bit more like a Buddhist story that you might hear, but like I said, that's definitely in our tradition as well, this communal identity. It's not just about me getting Tom through life, but it's about we, Tom and others, identifying as part of the body of Christ, part of the communion of saints, right? So that's good. Anyway, it'll be 37 years tomorrow. We're going to see Lake Crescent. It'll be 37 years since I was last there, and I hope the sun's out. I hope I can go swimming there. I have a very vivid memory of, it's as bluest of blue waters, especially when the sky is blue, and going down and looking up, and the sun was hitting the surface of the lake, and all these, it's like being in the middle of a sapphire blue gem, and then the sun shafts were coming down, so I'd like to do it again and see if it's as I remember it. But it's just really, when I was 22 years old, that's when I was there last. So I'm looking forward to that. So, God bless everybody. I'll kind of get out of the way here. Oh, again, if you can see Mount Baker, it's right. Oh, I should get there. Sorry, right like there. So. Loving God, we thank you for our lives. I know that everybody isn't as privileged as I am right now, or in a lot of times in my life. I'm just really so lucky to be where I am, and this is one of those times. And I hope all of us can find a reason to be grateful today in the midst of our different struggles. I hope we can all develop kind of a Eucharistic sense that we're many parts of one body, and really be affected by each other. We might share each other's pain and sorrow as well as each other's joy and hope, each other's failures as well as each other's triumphs. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. God bless you, everybody.